Oh, I love it here.
I'm with John Francis, the head of National Geographic's Research, Conservation and Exploration. John, this is the 5th BioBlitz in a special series. Can you remind us what this series is all about?
Yeah, I'm just so delighted because it gets better and better every year, and we're trying to march up to the centennial of the National Park System, which is in 2016, doing one BioBlitz a year for 10 years, and this is number 5.
Now, the BioBlitz series also has a unique aspect to it in that the national parks are always next to big urban areas. Why is that?
Well, we're trying to awaken people who don't really understand their deep connection with nature. Sometimes in the urban setting you don't get out into nature, but there are parks around the country that are all close to the city, and we want to get the school children and the families into the park to really be with those who love it and know it and really get bitten by the bug that's so exciting about loving nature through these BioBlitz activities.
Here at Saguaro National Park with Tucson, the city actually a city that's in the middle of the park. It's very unusual. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I was very excited because when I realized that there are these two east and west portions of the park on each side of Tucson, I was thinking, well, why don't we get Mike Fay to walk across from one unit to the other through the city and talk about the biodiversity in the city as well, or the lack thereof. And so that was one of the key ambitions, is to try to unite people into the notion it's not just the parks, it's the whole fabric, including the urban areas, that we need to look after.
And the connectivity between not only the two parts, but between cities and the wilderness in general.
It's really key, and we can rewild our natural world. We can go into our schools and do BioBlitzes. We can go into our backyards. We can think about what it takes to have whole functioning nature. We can celebrate it, and we can enrich it. And so that whole idea of using the parks as a jumping off point, as you will, is really at the heart of what the BioBlitz is trying to achieve.
Now, what has been most rewarding for you in the last 4 BioBlitzes and now the 5th one? What would you say are the most rewarding experiences?
The exciting thing for me is seeing the lights go on with the kids and with adults and the community that gets together. We have 50 or so people displaying that represent these different groups and organizations. We're creating a bigger family, and this year it's even better because we're doing an electronic field trip, and we're reaching out to as many as 100,000 students around the country who can really get a sense of what these BioBlitzes are like and experience them from afar.
The BioBlitz hasn't actually started, but already I understand you and I were talking to one of the researchers. He was showing us flyers, and he said most of them probably aren't even known.
I was blown away. Yeah, Mitch Irwin was looking at this collection he made over 2 weeks here at the park with the Malaise trap, and he had the trap on display. He had his full collection. It was a soup of insects that you couldn't believe, and he said the flies in particular, maybe only 1/3 of them were even known. So here he was sitting with this dish full of flies. He had the capacity, if he had the time and energy, to actually push science forward and identify them, but he doesn't have the time. That's the whole point of it, getting more and more of the future's taxonomists here inspired so that we can actually get a handle on what we're needing to protect.
So what it's telling us is these national parks are troves of biodiversity that we don't even fully appreciate or understand, even as the cities are pushing up against their boundaries.
It's true, we're losing species as it goes, but we also, even the ones that are known, we don't know fully how it works, how it's integrated. So the scientists are the key, and the people who are living in Tucson, I think, are already awakened to some extent, but there, I know, a huge number of kids who will be inspired by this event and hopefully take up the charge that Mitch and others are hoping to see the next generation assume.